Tama? Ayan na. Ito po. A pleasant day to everyone, especially to Dr. Gina Oracion, to my co-masters. I am Catherine R. Relevante, the presenter of the topic entitled Teachers' Education in Times of COVID-19 Pandemic in Portugal. Teachers bring to their work assumptions that shape how they think about globalization. To prepare children to analyze globalization perceptively, teachers must stretch their assumptions and knowledge. Teachers' education can help. Teachers' education programs today are under pressure to adhere to state standards, often while trimming back on credit requirements. However, the present recommendations are still doable. Perhaps the greatest challenge is showing teachers, educators, what is possible. Next. Teachers' education in times of COVID-19 pandemic in Portugal. The spread of the COVID-19 pandemic has affected society has affected short man, no? Society and in particular in education. The COVID-19 crisis has led to an education crisis according to Education International 2020, for which no one was prepared. School closures worldwide have affected millions of pupils that the effects of which are yet to be known. Emergency. Stop. In this paper, we look at the national, institutional, and pedagogical responses in the Portuguese context as a result of the closure of schools and universities in March 2020. It includes a brief description and analysis of the initiatives and responses to the crisis, as well as the difficulties, the challenges, and the opportunities. The paper ends with the implications for education generally and particularly for teacher education. In order to deal with the sudden transition from face-to-face to remote teaching, the Ministry of Education developed a number of initiatives. First, a set of guidelines for schools organize online teaching and learning was issued. This so-called roadmap guiding principles for the implementation of distance teaching in schools, according to DGA 2028, issued on 27 March, provided schools and teachers with suggestions and recommendations for setting up a strategy for developing remote teaching in the face. schools decided to use synchronization through the online platforms Google Meet and Classroom Teams provided free of charge by Google. I sorry. Some schools also use the Skype and Zoom platforms. The latter had some issues related to its limited use in the free of charge version as well as some security problems. Teachers made the most of the potential of the model platforms that already existed in their schools before the COVID-19 pandemic. Due to the identification of the first case of COVID-19, face-to-face teaching was canceled on 7th of March. The decision to suspend all activities was announced through the Rectoral Order -23 2020, including missions, libraries, teaching and educational services, events and sports, seminars, and conferences. Thus, all activities which include the presence of students were suspended on 16th of March. Furthermore, the same communication stipulated that efforts should be done to promote online teaching and learning, keeping the activities through teacher and students. In some cases, pupils did not possess the required equipment either because they did not have a laptop or tablet and they had to share the same equipment with other family members. In other cases, there was no internet access or there were technical problems. In addition, some pupils found it difficult to navigate in the online platforms to communicate and to find the task to be solved. The transition from face-to-face to online teaching was sudden and unexpected. This is true to all courses and programs in higher education, but particularly challenging for teacher education. General recommendations pointed to the importance of maintaining the interaction with the student teachers and to the teaching online, making the necessary adjustments in pedagogy and assessment. Our students continue to carry out the activities that had been planned previously for semester 2 before the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. In one case, students, teachers develop a reflexive portfolio over time to document their learning process and lead the discussion context. And one of the biggest challenges as far as initial education is concerned related to the practicum. Abruptly, student teachers had to cancel their visits to school and had to follow their cooperating teachers' activities online. The pace and diversity of tasks and initiatives as well as the student teachers' involvement were dependent on the context and sector of teaching. It is therefore possible to identify very different experiences concerning the practicum. These are my references. That would be all. Thank you. Ma'am, nagkamali, dagan kay mali.